Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at amazon.com/new Alexa.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, Zoran Mandani meets with business leaders. Also, Bruce Blakeman, throws his name in. He is the Nassau County executive, and Bruce Blakeman, Republican, very impressive guy, throws his name in the race for governor. So now there will be a primary, at least if all of them stay in, with Elise Stefanik and Bruce Blakeman. It's a very interesting race. And President Trump was asked about both of them. He said, I think Elise Stefanik, who, by the way, is terrific too, he said, she's great. And then what do you think of Bruce Blakeman? Well, he's great too. So it's going to be interesting to see where all of this goes. You know, I always love reading your messages. And Sal put this out to me on X. You can follow me at Rita Cosby. Sal says, Rita, today I read that Mandani appointed someone who served 7 years for armed robbery as a, quote, justice advisor. What will Mandani do next? Appoint Jack the Ripper as New York City Director of Public Safety? Sal, that is a good one. I 100% agree. And also many of you also talking about Elon Musk. And also a big shout out to DJ Matt Blaze. Great bumper music on Rita's show. Saying that they love the Phil Bailey and Earth, Wind and Fire and Phil Collins. So I'm glad I'm passing that on. Matt gives the thumbs up tonight. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Meantime, President Trump out there on the campaign trail for now the House and the Senate. And also realizing that the message of affordability, one that Mandani and others have been pushing, has been resonating with Americans, even if a lot of his other policies are absolutely crazy. And how to get there, absolutely crazy. But here is President Trump. He was out in Pennsylvania and spreading the message about prices coming down like nobody else can. Here he is.
Said, we'll do a friendly merger here. This is pretty good. And that's what we did. And we're right now drilling more oil than we've ever done ever before. Prices are way down. We just had 4 states. It was just reported that 4 states had $1.99 a gallon. Right? We're still moving.
And then he also talked about what he inherited from President Joe Biden. Remember, inflation up around 9%.
But that's our message. They gave you high prices. They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. And you're getting much higher wages. I mean, the only thing that's really going up big, it's called the stock market and your 401ks. It's going up.
And President Trump also talking about the success at the border. There's no doubt. I mean, President Trump came in and he sealed the border on day one. And think about all the costs that came with that wide open border, all the costs that still come. Look at all the different threats against ICE agents. Look how many people are still in this country because there are many cities that won't hand over. Even if somebody has a detainer from ICE, they still won't hand them over. They're like, okay, we're going to put them back out on the streets. Even if they have murder in their background or rapes in their background, child sex offenders, they still get let out in a lot of these blue cities like New York and like Chicago and elsewhere. It really is it's horrific, but they don't want to cooperate with ICE no matter what. And President Trump, on the other hand, can certainly say he sealed the border. And he had a good line tonight on that. Take a listen.
I would say there's one country that has probably a stronger border. You know what that is? You know what that is? North Korea. North Korea, I think, has a stronger border. But other than North Korea has 7 walls of wire, and each of them has 1 million volts of electricity going through it. So if you get over one, you're dead for the next one. If you get over one, you're in very bad shape. If you get over 2, you've set a record. So I don't know, Scott, I think we give North Korea the safest border. Don't you agree? You know, but ours is pretty safe. And I want to thank people.
It's pretty safe. I don't think it has the same techniques as North Korea, but it is pretty safe. He always has these great lines. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Liz in Florida on line 5. Go ahead, Liz.
Hi, beautiful Rita. Thanks for taking my call. You've got a great team at the station, that's for sure.
By the way, what did you think of Matt Blaze's music selection on a 1 to 3? What would you give him tonight, Liz?
A 10. He's amazing.
Good. You got the right answer. Go ahead.
We love Matt. So President Trump, first of all, is such a rock star. He's so funny. He's on tour. I just love it. Okay. Now, regarding Adams, he's building a wall, and Mandani is just going to take a bulldozer and knock it down. Adams means well, but it won't work. Anyone he puts in place won't last because this communist has no problem firing anyone in the way of his agenda. He doesn't care who he hurts or what the majority say. It's going to be his way or the highway. And I am just waiting for the day he's arrested, because it will come, because I'm pretty sure he's not so clean. And just hating America should be illegal.
Well, by the way, I hear you on the hating America part. At least certainly some of his alliances clearly are very questionable. I mean, remember that imam who essentially said America brought it upon itself. Hassan Piker also saying that 9/11 America deserved it. Then he apologized, but years later. So, I mean, there are just so many questions about his connections. And you're right. He probably will bulldoze a lot of the stuff that, Eric Adams is trying to fortify. And he knows that because, look, when somebody comes in, they can do a lot of changes, as we saw when President Trump came in. He did the reverse. He got rid of a lot of bad policies. In this case, Zoran Mandani will put in place, I believe, a lot of bad policies, a lot of bad people. And that's why we all have to keep an eye on him. We got to keep it in check, and we got to keep telegraphing it. I still think it's a noble effort to at least put somebody in, don't you think, Liz? Even if ultimately that person will probably get fired pretty quickly once Zoran Mandani comes in, because it certainly sends a message if he suddenly wants to drop that person out of the race, or out of, I should say, the CCRB, the Civilian Complaint Review Board. If they get rid of that person, that sends a statement too. And I think the guy who's head of it probably is expecting that he will be removed. But at least it certainly causes a little bit of a public kerfuffle and some headlines. And it depends who he puts in there too. If he puts a real softy in there after this person, that could be construed as obviously clearly him going left, which I think he will do. But at least it draws attention to that move. So I still think it's still worth doing. There's not a lot of things, a mayor can do on their way out the door. But I think at least Mayor Eric Adams is trying to do some things. And listen, he also came out and he was critical about Zoran Mandani the other day. Remember when Mandani came out and said that he wanted to stop doing sweeps of these homeless encampments, which really is quite extraordinary that he would actually say that. Who would ever say, no, I want to keep them there? But that's essentially what he's saying, that he doesn't want to sweep them. He doesn't think that's nice. I guess leaving them out in the freezing cold is better, or in front of your apartment building. I guess that's better in his mind. But But I think Eric Adams speaking out even about that, because he said he thought that was just insane, that Mandani would do that, and how destructive that move would be to New York, and how that would reverse a lot of the headwinds that Eric Adams has had. I just saw, in fact, a little bit ago, and this is really quite incredible, that New York City has now tied its record for the longest stretch without a homicide in recorded history. So if that's true, that's actually a really big deal. And now we have somebody who is soft on crime, tough on police coming in. That trend could change very quickly. Liz, your thoughts?
Well, I think what he's doing is what he has to do. And he, he's trying to do something, and it will produce headlines. But Mamdani's purposely putting these people in place, and he has nothing to lose. He's like a bad teenager fighting the establishment. So, I love that Adams is doing that. I don't think anything is going to stop Mamdani.
Yeah, I don't either. By the way, Liz, and I said this to you guys from day one. There were some people out there who were saying, and even maybe some of you who called into the show, I believe, said, well, he may not be that bad. We survived Bill de Blasio. This to me is a whole different breed. This guy, to me, I absolutely do believe. I used the phrase clear and present danger during the campaign, and I meant it. And I stole it from Judge Weinberg, who's with me on Katz and Cosby on 5 o'clock, because it's a powerful phrase. This guy is a true believer. He's an ideologue. And I agree with you. I don't think anything is going to change his philosophy. He's going to go full steam ahead. He's going to have the Democratic Socialists of America by his side, pushing him to be full steam ahead. And I think that that's a really dangerous combination. It's an election year, too. So it's going to force Kathy Hochul, I think, also to be full steam ahead with his agenda. And I also think so many others across this country are going to see Mandani's win as a way that they think they can win too. And these Democratic Socialists of America, I think they're very dangerous. If you look at their beliefs, there are so many things that are anti-Israel. Essentially, their mantra's all anti-Israel. And I think they're going to be trying to use that playbook all over the country. And that is bad news. That's why not only for New York was it bad news to have Zoran Mandani, but it sent a message across the country that this kind of policy could be accepted in some form. And that's what even Linda Sarsour, a very extreme activist, that's what she even said after. She goes, oh, you can be anti-Semitic and still win. So be anti-Semitic and win, essentially, is the message across this country. And boy, is that a dangerous place. Liz, thank you.
He's getting a lot of pressure from the socialist group. And I said this from day one. It's not what he can't do, but it's what he can do. And that's scary.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, too, Liz, I think he's getting pressure from them. And I also think he doesn't mind the pressure. Some people need to be pushed. I don't think he needs to be pushed. I think he agrees with them wholeheartedly because he set up the Students for Justice of Palestine. Those are the folks who are leading those protests at all these colleges. He set up his college chapter, and remember, he was out there with the protesters. I'm worried about the protests, Liz. Are you with this guy? He sounds like he's going to be leading them. I mean, he said, I want to see them, their First Amendment. And when he was asked in that debate, and I think about that moment, he was asked, what are you going to do with the protests? First of all, he's killing the Strategic Response Group, which is the police group that actually, breaks up those protests. But he also said, no, I'll be leading from the mayor's office. So I think he's going to be leading the protests from the mayor's office, wink, wink, nod, nod kind of style. What do you think, Liz?
He will be leading them. He's leading them now with his speech. Everything that comes out of his mouth is telling them it's okay. Go ahead. Do what you have to do. So it's a scary time.
It is. It is. It is a really crazy time. So, Liz, just make a lot of room in your home in Florida because we're all moving in, okay?
Come on. You're not scaring me.
I promise I'll wash the dishes too. Thank you, Liz. You're terrific. Thank you. Very sweet. Everybody, we're going to continue your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. And you're listening to The Rita Cosby Show.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy, Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida, too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. All right.
This episode is brought to you by Blink. Doom scrolling during this ad break? Ditch the doom and get peace of mind with new Blink 2K Plus Smart Security. Check on home from your phone with 2K Clarity, noise cancellation, and 4x Zoom. Plus, setup is so simple, you can easily install while listening to your favorite podcast. True crime girlies? We got you. Get more, spend less with Blink 2K Plus Smart Security.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
REI Co-op presents a perfect outdoor moment with the perfect gift.
Woo!
Picture this. You're ripping with your favorite person. Bluebird skies, blower powder, and frankly, you're skiing like legends.
So sick. Another lap?
Thanks to REI's curation, from lid to sticks, you nailed the gift.
No way. How'd you know?
Does it get more perfect than that? Give without guessing. Shop in store or visit rei.com.
This is the Rita Cosby Show.
And the threats against law enforcement are increasing, which is why it's important to have people in authority who respect law enforcement. Earlier today, I was talking with Tricia McLaughlin, who is the Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. 2 New Jersey men were arrested for threatening to torture and kill her. And also shoot ICE agents on site. This is crazy. Thank goodness they got these 2 brothers who were making these horrible threats about her online. She's the chief spokesperson and also probably one of the nicest person you know. And she is one of these people who is out there trying to defend the country and yet getting criticized left and right. Here is President Trump saying that people who have been doing some of these acts, including officials, need to be held accountable.
In D.C., Biden and the radical left Democrats turned Pennsylvania into a dumping ground for hundreds of thousands of migrants from the most dysfunctional places on earth, like Somalia, and gave them billions and billions of your taxpayer dollars. But we didn't really give it. It was stolen. And those people should go to jail. Jail. And if they don't go to jail, Scott Bessent is toast. He's toast. I'll tell you, that could be the easiest case. I think it's too easy for you. Just give it to your assistants. They can do that case. These people are crooks. They don't work. 91% unemployment, okay? It's a scam, and it's headed up by the crooked Congresswoman. Whatever happened to her brother, by the way? Is he still around? Where is he? Yeah, he went low. He went low. He's not happy. Would you look into him too, Scott? Would you find out the brother, please?
She's talking about Ilhan Omar. And obviously that she married her brother, those allegations when she came into the country. Well, the rhetoric is definitely heightening. And again, as we are heading into a new year, this is only the beginning. We're going to play some crazy comments that Ilhan Omar is saying about Trump and his administration. And also Stephen Miller and others have Minnesota in their sights. They are not backing down. We'll take your calls on that and so much more. Zoran Mandani and everything else after the break.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is Charlie. He's my part rescue dog, part whirlwind. Half of his breakfast always ends up on the floor. And he leaves fur everywhere. That's why I grabbed the Bissell Power Clean Fur Finder. It's cordless, powerful, and actually finds fur you don't even see. If you've got a pet like Charlie, you've got fur everywhere. The Power Clean Fur Finder gets that. Discover how Power Clean Fur Finder makes pet cleanups effortless at Bissell.com.
And now a message from McAfee.
I'm not a real kid.
And I'm not a real grandpa.
We're deep fakes.
And we're making it harder to tell what's real online.
The good news? McAfee can help. McAfee's scam detector automatically identifies text and email scams and even deepfakes.
So if you whippersnappers meet one of us, you'll know.
If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Jay Kelly, the new film from Academy Award nominee Noah Baumbach. George Clooney stars as an actor confronting his past and present on a journey of self-discovery, alongside Adam Sandler as his devoted manager. Critics are calling it a declaration of love to the chaotic art of filmmaking, with the Wall Street Journal praising it as a transcendent comedy drama. Jay Kelly is now playing only on Netflix.
Everyone wants the Emirates NBA Cup.
And things are heating up.
30 teams started. Bang! But only 8 have advanced to the single elimination knockout rounds. To survive, they'll have to be hungry, relentless, ruthless.
Are you kidding me?
They all want the cup, but only one team can claim it. Who will capture the cup? Emirates NBA Cup knockout rounds begin December 9th on Prime.
Rita Cosby is on.
And everybody, coming December 20th, it is home for the holidays with Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio. So get ready to slay your night away with live performances, also some crazy sweaters, and plenty of jolly friends. It's Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio, singing your holiday favorites live in concert December 20th. And for more information and tickets, go to homefortheholidays2025.com. It's Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio, live in concert. That is homefortheholidays2025.com. And everybody, I don't think it's going to be a great holiday in any shape or form in Minneapolis. Chairman James Comer, who I was talking with earlier today, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, he has launched an investigation into the massive fraud in Minnesota's social services system, all under the watch of people like Ilhan Omar and Governor Tim Walz. They believe it's up to $1 billion plus. Potentially some whistleblowers say it might even be as much as $8 billion. And when they came forward to complain about it, well, then they were reprimanded. That's the allegation. So there are a lot of questions tonight. And here is Stephen Miller, of course, one of the senior aides to President Trump. And this is what he has to say specifically about Ilhan Omar. And she's the one who's there in Minneapolis. It's her district. It's about the Somali community. And so far, she seems to be in the river of denial. Listen to what Stephen Miller said.
We have found so far, we believe that the Somali fraud operation in Minnesota is the single greatest theft of taxpayer dollars through welfare fraud in American history. We believe that we have only scratched the very top of the surface of how deep this goes. And you're familiar with all the scams with pretending that children have autism who are not in fact autistic, with pretending to enroll people in food programs when in fact nobody was ever enrolled, and engaging in massive fraud, lying, and theft and grift on a scale we've never seen before in American history. The total bill, the total tab for this is going to be far beyond the numbers we've already seen reported. We believe the state government is fully complicit in this scheme, and we believe that what we are going to uncover is going to shock the American people. Look, based on the records that we already have, and this is a significant undercount, by the way, 75% of the Somali population in Minnesota is on welfare. But that's likely a significant undercount of just how much of a financial burden the Somali refugee population is imposing on this country.
And here is Ilhan Omar, and boy, she did not hold back. She went after Stephen Miller personally, as opposed to addressing the issue of $1 billion of taxpayer dollars. You would think that would be the priority, but her priority is chastising Stephen Miller.
I want to ask you something else that the architect of the president's immigration policy, Stephen Miller, said. On Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America? How do you understand this?
I mean, when I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in Germany. And, you know, as we know, there have been many immigrants who have tried to come to the United States who've turned back, one of them being Jewish immigrants. We know the way that people were described who were coming from Ireland, Irish immigrants. We know the way in which people were described back then when they were Italian immigrants. And to me, you know, we're yes, of course, ethnically Somali. We are in this country as Americans. Yeah. We are citizens. We are productive part of this nation, and we will continue to be.
Congresswoman Omar, thank you for your time today.
That to me, first of all, there's so many things wrong with that. She's sitting there calling Steve Miller a white supremacist, and the host just goes, "Okay, thank you. Next." Like that's normal. Saying that he's acting like the Nazis against the Jews because they're trying to get rid of very significant criminal migrants. And especially, it was around the topic of what's going on in Minneapolis. And again, the scam could be absolutely massive there. But as opposed to addressing it, she's going after Stephen Miller, calling him a white supremacist. This truly is one for the record books. And it's not election year. Next year will be. It's going to get ugly, guys. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Judith in Brooklyn, line 1. Go ahead, Judith, your thoughts.
Hi, Rita. When it comes to Mandani, there's an expression that comes to my mind, and it goes like this. You can judge a person by the company he keeps. So just take a look at all the people Mandani has been surrounding himself, and that just reflects on who he is. An absolute lowlife, right?
Yeah, can you believe he picks this guy? This is the one who spent 7 years behind bars in state prison. And also, what I found so interesting is he's always saying that he is a supporter of the cab drivers. This guy was found guilty of 2 armed robberies of taxi drivers.
It's insane. It's just insane. It's just, you can't make this up. Honestly, you can't make this up. And and as far as Ilhan Omar goes, I mean, this woman has tremendous. What would you say? Tremendous chutzpah. Like, she's got arrogance. She's smug. She's like amazing. 75% of these people are on welfare, but according to her, they're very productive people. Really? Why is 75 people on welfare, you moron?
And by the way, where's the outrage about, a $1 billion scheme that should have gone to underprivileged, kids, autistic kids, kids with special needs like that. And again, also people with low economic standing, the people who need it the most. To me, this is shocking, and it may have ended up in Al-Shabaab, a terrorist group in Somalia. I mean, if this happened in her community, she should be pounding her fist down and saying, oh, this is terrible. But then she had a fundraiser at the restaurant owned by one of the guys.
For $12 million, Rita.
Yep, exactly.
They found him $12 million for fraud. Let me tell you something. She is the mastermind. She's a biatch, okay? She's a mastermind. Oh, don't get me started, Rita. I'm so embarrassed.
You're getting fired up. I'm telling you, we love you, Judith. Thank you very much. And by the way, I feel your passion too. Thank you. Let's go to Joaquin in Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Joaquin.
Good evening, Rita. I have to say, Robert made some very good points. And the messaging on the affordability, that's one of the biggest problems because most of the media is co-opted to the left. Now, I came across a very interesting video on social media. And every time I go to share it, for some reason, it freezes. And it's a guy, apparently some kind of a manager at food processing. And it was in Minnesota. And this is interesting. Have you noticed how often we have recalls on contaminated food? Quite a bit.
Yeah, so what's your point? That he might be affecting the food or what?
Yes, well, this is what he said. He said what they have done is they have imported all these Somalis and all these corporations, all these food processing plants are employing these Somalis, driving the wages down, basically the slave labor wages. And these people are coming in there and they're basically urinating and defecating all over these food processing plants. Okay? This has been something that's been done to drive down, part of the affordability issue is wages. Now, I had a good friend when I went to college.
Wait. Joaquin, hold on. Where did you get this, defecating on the food part? Where did that come from?
This was the whistleblower on this video that every time I go to share it, it freezes.
Oh, so that's what this is what he's claiming is happening. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And you could easily search it by saying whistleblower on food processing. But anyway, so, I had a friend in college, one of my good friends and roommates, and he worked in the slaughterhouse back then, a food processing plant. And in the summertime, he made enough money to buy a brand new Oldsmobile Cutlass cash. Okay. Now those wages have been driven down, and now they're importing all these people from all these third world countries, and they're coming in and they're being put to work cheap at these places, and they're basically defecating and doing whatever around these plants. They have no concept of any kind of hygiene or anything.
Well, by the way, we got to get to the bottom of that if that's the case, Joaquin, because that's really frightening stuff. Which is why, by the way, I always tell people to be nice to the waiter because you don't know what the waiter's going to do with your soup or cup of coffee when he goes in the back room. If you're mean to a waiter or a waitress. I'm nice to them anyway because I always feel compassionate for their job. I always think they work hard. They work hard for the money. There's no question about it. But boy, that's scary. Joaquin, we got to look into that. That is really frightening. And, if you look at the fact that they were taking money, I mean, the allegation, I guess I wouldn't be surprised at what you're saying or what the whistleblower is saying, I should say, if you look at what's going on now. I mean, this is shocking that they would take money that was supposed to go to underprivileged kids and their families for feeding, claiming they were feeding, I think it was 18,000, individuals a week. And if you look at the location, as it turns out, it's this tiny little location. There's no way they were feeding. And there are a number of people that have already been convicted in this. But we really need to get to the bottom of this because this is enormous. And what James Comer was saying is that it's well beyond even Minnesota. This may be something that blows the lid open on similar scams across the country. So this is really, really disheartening. Boy, stay away from those food processing plants, Joaquin. Yikes. Let's go to Rocco in Connecticut, line 1. Go ahead, Rocco, your thoughts.
Hi. I wanted to make a comment about Ilhan Omar comparing Somalis to Jews. Not really. I mean, look at what Jewish people have done, the advances they've made versus the the Somalis. And my other point is,
hold on, Rocco. To me, it was so over the top. Not just if you want to talk about advances, and I'm sure there's some successful Somali people too. But the comment that they're being like singled out and vilified when we're finding out that a big group of them, where they're most likely concentrated in America. And many of them, dozens so far, have been charged with some very serious theft and graft. It's like, why are they picking on us? Well, guess what? If you were involved in graft and you're suddenly driving around a BMW and that was supposed to go to a starving kid, you should be vilified. Like they're so defensive. They're not even almost admitting guilt. And that's a very different thing than targeting Jewish people, which was absolutely reprehensible by the Nazis in the 1930s, which was her sort of equation. I mean, you can't compare the two, right, Rocco? Come on.
Right. Exactly. And I want to make another point. I always wondered when she was elected to Congress, how did all the Somali people end up in Minnesota? Because it's not it's not the climate they are accustomed to in Somalia. So now we know why they went to Minnesota, because they went from rags to riches, and that's what everything was given to them.
Yes. By the way, Rocco, that's the reason, actually. Even Tim Walz, for all his foibles, sort of said, we're a generous state and we offer a lot of free stuff. And sort of the word got out that they helped other communities. And the Somalis said, well, if they help them, they can help us. So, it's like if you pass the word, hey, this state is really taking care of us, free, and then the word gets passed, they end up getting around all over the place. Go ahead.
That's the reason why they packed Minnesota.
Right.
And it is, and if you let them get away with whatever, you don't look into the finances, you don't audit the services, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get fraud and at taxpayers' expense.
Right. You hit it right on the head. Rocco, thank you. Really great points. And also, not only that, there are allegations from whistleblowers that maybe officials there, like Tim Walz and also the Attorney General, there's some coming forward saying that both of them willingly turned a blind eye, and that possibly money may have gone into some of their accounts. Like, oh, if you turn a blind eye, wink, wink, nod, nod, we'll give you some campaign donations and we'll vote for you. We vote as a big voting block. They do very cohesively vote for Democrats in a very cohesive voting block of 80,000. And that makes a big difference in a state like Minnesota, and any sort of Minneapolis race. It sure does. So there are a lot of reasons.
Can't wait to see the outcome.
Yeah, I can't either, Rocco. We'll be following it closely. Thank you very much. And everybody will continue with calls after the break, 1-800-848-9222. But first, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And everybody, this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment with a powerful story from Salt Lake City, Utah, where naval veteran Phyllis Ackerman, who at 100 years old celebrated with 103, I just saw. She was 103, celebrated life with 25 of her fellow brothers and sisters in arms, as the Utah Lieutenant Governor recognized her for her service as a nurse in the United States Navy during World War II. She worked alongside two other nurses from her hometown in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and she was stationed in the Great Lakes, where injured Navy and Marine personnel from the South Pacific would be transported. And bravo to her, and of course all of our other great veterans, and those especially from World War II, like 103 years old Phyllis Ackerman. I love that story. And everybody, America's heroes need your help. Donate just $11 a month to the incredible Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Be sure to check them out at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana. This is a real good story about Bronx and his dad, Ryan. Real United Airlines customers.
We were returning home, and one of the flight attendants asked Bronx if he wanted to see the flight deck and meet Captain Andrew.
I got to sit in the driver's seat.
I grew up in an aviation family, and seeing Bronx kind of reminded me of myself when I was that age.
That's Andrew, a real United pilot.
These small interactions can shape a kid's future.
It felt like I was the captain.
Allowing my son to see the flight deck will stick with us forever.
That's how good leads the way.
Starting your business isn't just about opening the doors. It's keeping the dream you built secure. With New York Life, you get the financial guidance to make it real. Start today at nyl.com.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du Norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
1-800-848-9222. By the way, as President Trump is talking about affordability, tomorrow there's a good chance we will get some good news on the economic front. What will the Federal Reserve Board do? Could we see a drop in interest rates? That would certainly help. President Trump has been saying too late Powell. Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chair, has been way too late at dropping interest rates, but maybe some more good news coming soon. We'll see. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Reggie in Texas, line 4. Go ahead, Reg.
Hey, Miss Rita. On that soundbite that you played from Omar, I noticed that her tactics, she was very clever in her messaging. If you notice, she created a victimhood for herself. Not one of the groups she mentioned was people of color. She was trying to create an alliance there. She mentioned the Italians, the Irish, and the Jews. She has never had anything positive to say about Holocaust and the Nazis. She's probably closer related to them in her behavior than anyone else. But I just found it very odd that she mentioned those groups specifically, that they had been tormented, trying to create. You can tell that she's trying to change her messaging. She's looking for help.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I did notice that she kept using by saying, "Oh, the Jews did this," like you're right, to sympathize with them. And believe me, we're all very sympathetic to the Jewish population. But you're right. I think she's closer aligned with some of the Democratic Socialists of America. And if you look at their platform, we talked about this, Reggie, during the New York City mayoral race. I was reading some of the things in their platform. And their platform is, boycott, divest, sanction, anything tied to Israel. And, she and Rashida Tlaib, all of those guys are like huge supporters of that. So you're right. She's trying to also be very, very sneaky, like, oh, we're just sweet, innocent victims. Somehow that $1 billion, I don't know what happened to them. I'd like to see her actually help lead the investigation as opposed to calling Steve Miller a white supremacist.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. A ride.